I remember the first day we started, and we started not in this hall actually. We started in one of those Dhamma school rooms actually, classrooms next to this hall. Yeah, on that day we started with Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. On that day, Pavattana Sutta actually was conducted by me because I was taking Vassa at Buddhist Mahavihara in that year, 2023. So it was easy for me to come to the puja hall later on and then conduct it. And yeah, so I would like some of you to share some of your thoughts, not today, on December 8th. We will see, we want to hear, not just, I want to hear only, but I want others to be encouraged. That is the main thing. Motivation is very important, right? That is why you are coming. We've been coming here every Monday. Otherwise, you could have stayed in your house and listened to a Dhamma talk or do your things, right? But you think that it is worthwhile coming to the Buddhist Mahavihara and then to be with these Kalyana Mittas, to see them, even to show a happy smile and to learn, write down some of the notes, right? To engage in this place. I think that is more than a learning experience, the engagement, especially the motivation, because there are a lot of times in our daily life that we lose motivation due to external circumstances. It doesn't mean we don't know the Dhamma. We know Dhamma better than someone who has not studied. But the thing is that when those hard times, challenging times come to us, we don't feel that, and some of normal people, ordinary people, that we could handle it properly. That is when the Kalyana Mitra affect us. This kind of a gathering affect us. This kind of learning gathering help us to connect back to the Dhamma. So learning from a book, learning from online, learning from, let's say, AI, learning from some other materials could not be enough to successfully bring Dhamma into life, daily life and life. So that's why this kind of a gathering every Monday has been a very pleasant, very meaningful experience for all of you. I mean, to be encouraged within yourself and to encourage each other, and then to be good people, even to your loved ones in your family, better than you were before. So I want you to think about it, reflect, because I know A to Z, everything, how we started and how everything unfolded. So it's a very happy moment. I think that we have all, now at this point, we have become a community at this point. And as I said, until last year, all these things were handled by me for the most part, and due to Sister Eng's connection to be the coordination, things have become much easier. And I think on your side, on my side, so we have to thank her as well, in addition to others that I mentioned in the message. So without all these individuals, just because I come here, I mean, this sutta study would have not been a reality, right? I mean, of course, my presence has been the main thing, but I understand and I know that there are a lot of things happening, starting from Suranga's technical engagement and then Vihara's management. And we didn't start this sutta study with giving food, and later on Vihara was very happy to accommodate that too. Thinking that we started at 8:30 before. I think when we started, it was 8:30. And then we understood that people are rushing to the sutta study without eating, and a lot of problems. And then we were able to think about plants, and then even to give some light snack, understanding that point. Yeah, so I think lots of good things have been happening, instrumental in making to this level of sutta study. So I want to thank everybody and an anumodana to everyone for all these commitment week by week, your engagement and your interest, your motivation. They all have been very helpful. I remember I wanted to add one thing which a senior Sangha member told me in 2023, and he was witnessing our sutta study. He's from America, and he was asking me, looking at your engagement in the sutta study. He was referring to sutta studies. Normally, Sri Lankan temples in North America conduct, where we where, according to him, where we have only a couple of individuals. And he told me that it was very encouraging for him to see this motivation that you come to the vihar every Monday with your books, notebooks, and all that, and studying that interest. Anyway, there are a lot of things to discuss, but not the time. We will share a couple of them maybe on December 8th, because I will be there in person on that day. All right, so let's get back to our today's topic. All of you know that I started the Satipatthana Sutta last Monday. How many of you were able to read the notes? I mean, read that particular note for last Monday. In that note, I was trying to teach you the importance of learning Satipatthana Sutta and the place of Satipatthana Sutta in our Dhamma practice. Right? So we also discuss that Satipatthana Sutta is the best place to learn about sati, and this sati has two parts. One is the right part, wholesome part, while the other one is the miccha part, or the samma part. So right mindfulness and wrong mindfulness. I think for many people, when they study about mindfulness, they almost don't know that there is a wrong mindfulness. What they only know is that this Satipatthana Sutta is all about mindfulness. Satipatthana Sutta clearly mentions that there is right mindfulness, which we have to learn and practice, and there is wrong mindfulness that we have to give up. So now you might be perhaps thinking, is my mindfulness wrong or right? Right? This is the question. This is the question that we are answering through all these discussions. That means you might perhaps be doing this mindfulness in the wrong way, right? And I think I have covered a bit of information about wrong mindfulness in a book I written for what do you call BMSM. I think you got a copy of that book. Buddhist Mission Society of Malaysia published this talk which I gave at their Kajang branch in 2023. But in addition to this talk, in our sutta study, we are looking at right mindfulness and wrong mindfulness in details. Okay, as you can see that we have to practice right mindfulness, or we can practice right mindfulness from four places. One is through the body, second is through the feelings, third is through the thoughts, fourth is through by understanding the nature of mental phenomena. Right? This is how we're going to practice. And there is no such thing that we have to practice all these satipatthanas. How many satipatthanas do we need to practice to become right mindfulness, right mindful action, as much as we can. But I think we don't have to pick up everything, right? Maybe we can pick up one right mindfulness practice. Let's take today's one. Today we are going to learn the first right mindfulness practice. So that comes under the body part, Kaya Anupassana. May I know what is Kaya in Pali? Kaya? What does Kaya mean? Huh? Body, not the butt. Yeah, not the butter, right? Kaya means body. Kaya. Anupassana. Anupassana means Passana means looking, right? Anupassana means Anu means right? Passana. So I would say if you take it from a literal point of view, you can say relooking or revisiting the body. Because we don't normally revisit the body, right? So the practices that were given under Kaya Anupassana, I think there are 7 practices, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a look. I think I want to show you my slides, which I presented some time ago. Let's take a look. There are 6 exercises, there are 6, right? So these are the practices that we are talking for a couple of weeks. So today we are talking the first Kaya Anupassana, mindfulness of body. That means being able to mindfully look at bodily functions. What are they? Anapana is number 1. Breath meditation, which is what we are doing today. 4 postures, Iryapati is the 2nd. Full awareness, Sampajana is the 3rd. 31 unpresent places of the body, Patikula Manasikara. We look at it a little differently as well. Attending to the nature of the body. And attention to the 4 elements, Dhatu Manasikara. And then 9 aspects of body decomposition, Navasivatika. We look at it, attending to the nature of the the natural recycling process of the body, not just looking at a deadly body, maybe a dead body. Okay, so there are 6. So we are going to pick up the first one, the breath practice today. Now, before we get to this practice, I want to share with you something. When it comes to breath meditation, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? The first thing that might come to your mind is that you will sit down, you will watch your breath, right? It's the main thing. What is actually this Anapanasati practice trying to teach us here? Normally, we are looking for our happiness from outside, right? We want to see sights, that means good things, people, right? We want to feel good with our eyes through the sight. And we want to make us happy through hearing pleasant sounds. And we don't want to feel unhappy by listening to things that we don't want to hear. Third, we want to smell good things. We don't want to smell bad things. Okay? That is how our happiness depends between good smell, bad smell. And we want to taste good food, and we don't want to taste bad food. Or maybe good, bad might depend on different people differently. That is how we look for happiness between taste. And then we want to have the thoughts that we want to think on a particular day or during a particular time. And we don't want to have thoughts that we don't want to have. right? That's when people say that today is a good day, today is a bad day, today I'm not happy, today I'm happy, or so and so forth, right? So that means our happiness is always revolving around, going around with what kind of happy external circumstance scenario will come to us or not, right? External things are always controlling us, in other words, right? They are controlling us. That's why we blame. We want to pick on other people. We will always look for a culprit in our unhappiness. And even the weather for some people, today it's very rainy, and then I'm under weather. Let's say if you are very elderly, you might feel certain things, but I mean otherwise, one of the very important easy things to understand about impermanence is the weather. Now it is raining, say it is raining, and in a while it might be very sunny, right? And we understand impermanence through the weather. Right? So for a Buddhist, these changes should be very minimal to the understand. Because Buddhists are always talking about impermanence. For other religious people, they don't talk about it that much. I think it might be a problem to them even if they say that. But for a Buddhist, these changes should be normal. Because they are the fundamentals of Buddhism. Anicca, dukkha, anatta, right? Everything is changing, changeable, impermanent, and everything can carry a sort of dissatisfaction or dukkha. And because of that, there is nothing we can possess as I, me, myself. It's pretty simple. But when the things are coming to us from external side, we are not able to figure out this anicca, dukkha, anatta easily, isn't it? It's very difficult for some people to figure out where is anicca part here. I don't think there's anicca. And people say, I don't like it. I don't like it means you are suffering about it. You are dissatisfied about it. The moment that you don't want to accept the impermanence, that is the moment where you are stuck in the dukkha, right? And that's the moment you might be trying to say that this happened to me, why it didn't happen to others, right? And then later on you understand there's no I, me, myself in the highest level of that thinking. If you further develop that idea, then you will understand there's everything happening with emptiness, shunyata. So if we understand this philosophy in our life, anicca, dukkha, anatta, not in a negative way. Yeah? Some people take it in a very negative way, in a very pessimistic way. Why is it? Because they are not able to look at anicca, dukkha, anatta with regard to good things. So they read very superficially. Now, when you look at about dukkha, they always talk about negative dukkha, right? Isn't it? They are talking. I was demoted in my job. I don't earn that much money compared to last year. My sales targets have been going down. Maybe one of my peers has taken my sales target, right? And we don't get that many customers any longer. Our business is going up and down. These are things that can happen to anybody, right? Then the Buddha said, if you know the impermanence, you do the necessary things before business goes down. Buddhists are not supposed to just look at what's happening. You have to do the necessary thing at the right time. Where did the Buddha say these things? May I know? In the suttas we discuss in the last couple of months, Digajanu Sutta, Pattakama Sutta. These are the suttas about wealth management, wealth creation, right? These are the suttas. People who have not studied these suttas think, no, Let me wait until all my wealth goes down, all my savings go down. Let me wait until everything goes down, because it is also anicca. Yes, things can be anicca, but if you are letting those things happen without doing the necessary things at the right time, then you will have double dukkha, more dukkha. The reason why did the Buddha teach us dukkha is to minimize the dukkha and go to some sort of happiness, not to get stuck in the dukkha. Now I'm bringing you back to that very argument here, Satipatthana Suttas, especially Khai section of Anapanasati. Now, as you understand, our happiness mostly depends on outside things. I think that's very clear to you. Try to look at it in your own personal examples. I'm not trying to say it is bad. It is what that is happening to all of us. But the Buddha is teaching us in the Satipatthana Sutta's Kayanupassana in particular that you don't have to look for other people for your happiness. Only by looking at what is happening inside of your body, you can be happier. Not happy, you can be happier. Now let me tell you how it happens with regard to today's one. Someone who is always looking for chasing after other people's attention. You don't take care of me. You don't check up on me. You are not concerned about me. Actually, some people are very concerned, but maybe they are not showing enough, right? Maybe an attention problem has been going on. Communication barrier has been going on. Maybe, regardless of what's happening, while you are mending, you are improving your relationships with your children, with your loved ones. What if that you think for a moment in your life, daily life, what if I look at my insight during the time I pick on other people, right? The moment that I feel the separation from the loved ones in their activities, actions, I feel very much isolated in my life. I'm very lonely. What can I do? Do I have to keep blaming on other people who should do that service? No, maybe I better look at what's happening to me during those difficult, challenging moments. Instead of picking on, blaming other people, what if I look at my breath? What would happen to me? Because all the reactions, responses about other people, us that we are making to other people, to the outside world, they are exhibiting, displaying some amount of breath experiences, right? Now think about, you are seated happily now in the, what is it called? Bhavana hall, right? Bhavana hall in this Mahavihara temple, BMV. You are comfortable. And what if that you try to watch your breath now at this point? How is my breath now going on? Can I feel my breath at this point? So if you are able to see your breath, you will feel some amount of calmness at that point. Okay? Especially with regard to what's happening now. What if that you're going to do this in times of anger, frustration, and all that? Not even in all these things, but also during your happy times. When you are so happy, when you are so elated, when you are so gladdened, or maybe you are so joyful. What if I pay attention to my breath? How my breath responds to this joy. The moment you see it, your joy will be double, triple, quadruple, and you know you are managing yourself. That means in Buddhism, according to Anapanasati practice, which is the first Kayanapasana practice, what the Buddha says us is that we can find a greater amount of happiness only by watching our breath. We don't have to depend on anybody. if we can see our breath, that will give us so much happiness. So that seeing the breath has to be done in a proper way. That is the proper way which the Buddha is teaching us in this Satipatthana Sutta's Kaya section. Okay, so that is something I wanted to share with you before I bring you to the sutta. I think I can share some of the other insights while I'm sharing the sutta. Let us go to the sutta now at this point. 100-day Anapanapabba. What is Pabba? Pabba means section, right? Breathing in and out. This is the first practice in the Satipatthana Sutta. How many practices are there in Satipatthana Sutta? Let's take a look. 36. Huh? There are 36 practices which will be studied. But today, first of all. Okay, let us read the section so then we will understand. Kayanupassana Anapanapabba. Katancha bhikkhave bhikkhu kai kayanu viharati. Ida bhikkhave bhikkhu aranyagato va rukkhamulagato va sunyagarato va nisidati pallankang abhujitva ujung kayang panidhaya parimukhang sati upattapetva. So satova assa sati, satova passa sati. Digang va assa santo, digang assa samiti ajanati. Digang va passa santo, digang passa samiti pajanati. Please read with me so you will get used to the Pali a little bit. Rasang va assa santo, rasang assa samiti pajanati. Rasang va passa santo, rasang passa samiti pajanati. Sabbakaya patisangveti assa sissamiti sikkati. Sabbakaya patisangveti passa sissamiti sikkati. Passang bhayang kaya sankharang assa sissamiti sikkati. Passang bhayang kaya sankharang passa sissamiti sikkati. Seyatapi bhikkhave dakho bhamakaruva bhamakaram tevasiva dighang va anchantu dighang anchamiti pajanati. Rasang va anchanto rasang anchamiti pajanati. Evameva ko dighang va asatanto. Same thing, pasambayang kaya sankara, pasasissamiti sikkati. That means digang, rasang, and then pasambayang kaya sankara, same phrasing. And then this part, iti ajatangva kai kayanupassi viharati. Bahidhava kai kayanupassi viharati. Ajat bahidhava kai kayanupassi viharati. Samudaya dhammanupassiva kayasmin viharati. Vaya dhammanupassiva kayasmin viharati. And this part has to be boldface too. Samudaya vaya dhammanupassiva kayasmin viharati. Atti ayudiva anassa sati pachupattitahu yavadeva jnana mattaya. Patissati mattaya anissitoja viharati. Nacha kinchi loke upadiyati. That's the end, but then this last part before the next Satipatthana practice, which is postures. Evam pikho bhikkhave bhikkhu kai kayanupassi viharati. Okay. So let me explain to you something over here. You have the note already with you, and you will read today and maybe whenever you're free during the week. So I'm going to pick up the very important parts of it because there's no reason for me to read the whole thing. You can read. So I'm going to give you the most important parts by looking at the section here. Let us take a look at the section again. Let's go to the first side. Okay, Pabba means section. We know that. Section on contemplation of breath as mindfulness of the body. I think this part is very clear to all of us. The moment that I see my own breath, I try to watch my breath, I feel calmness, I feel clear about what's happening, right? I think that's a very ordinary kind of thing for all of you because you know that. But there are a lot of important things to learn through that clarity, calmness. Then the Buddha is asking monks here how to do this. Does preparation matter here? Can I do the breath meditation by sitting, by standing, by walking? Actually, some people ask this question even in the retreats. Well, if you want to practice the proper breath meditation, it's better to sit down. It is not good to do it while you are walking. Why is it? While you are walking, if you are trying to look at your breath, you might not give enough attention to walking, right? You might stumble, you might trip yourself. That means while you are walking, there's another activity that is happening faster than the breath. Let's say now you are walking from here to the door. Then you have to be aware about this aisle area and the people and then the flow, right? You can't do that with the breath. That means your more focus will go to the flow. So it's better to do this breath while sitting. But there is an exception. Let's say that you are walking and you are so angry. You are walking, but you are so angry. At that point, at least you need to calm down at that. You are walking, but you are walking because you are so angry. Right? Now, you know, in normal, practical daily life, people say when people are greedy, they can do anything, right? They will do anything to get that thing. They are greedy things. It might be food, it might be people, it might be anything. But what if when people become angry, what if they have so much hatred? Can they do anything to get to that point? To feel good about their anger? Are there things people do to take revenge through anger? Oh, there are people, when they are angry, they want to do everything possible to put other people down. That's the problem of Loba and Dosa, actually. When Loba is in full bloom, when Dosa is in full bloom, greed and hatred, it can do anything. Because we are not the people at that time how we are now. We are driven by Loba, Dosa. Loba controls us, Dosa controls us, and Loba tells us, do whatever you want to please you. When we are driven by the Dosa, do anything to feel you good by putting people down, blaming them, dividing others, lying, gossiping, what else? Assassinating other people's characters, spreading wrong information on social media apps, do everything to feel you good. But other dangers can come to us with these two, right? So then while let's say you are walking now, but because of anger or jealousy or sadness or grief, maybe indignation, resentment, your walking is pushed by that emotion more than that particular normal walking. At that point, breathing can still be helped. Because you understand true breathing. I think I'm not the right person now. Something wrong with me now. I'm not walking now. I am being walked by my anger. I am being walked by resentment. I am being walked by frustration. This is not my normal walking. I go very fast. I walk very fast. Somebody is controlling me now. Then, how to understand this? I can look at myself, my breath. My breaths are happening very fast. I lose my voice. I'm stuttering. Heavy breaths. I don't want to talk to other people. I want to be myself. I want to lock my door. I don't want other people come to my place. I want to withdraw myself. Why? These are not good things, although people may do it. So the more you learn the proper Dhamma, the better you understand what you can do to these emotions through breath. That is an exception, that you can use breath in a way to calm yourself down and to find the clarity with regard to that problem. I think that is allowed. That is not a bad thing. Because we have to stabilize, we have to calm down, we have to see the reality in some ways. But if you think that you want to do breath meditation by just walking here and there, lying down, I don't think that's a good way. Because for that regular practice, it's better to sit down properly, like how the Buddha says here. Let's see how the Buddha says that. Ida bhikkhave bhikkhu aranyagatuva rukkhamulagatuva sunyagaragatuva. Buddha talks about 3 places that someone can use to practice this meditation. Number 1, aranyagatuva. Aranya means forest. Forest. Rukkhamula means someone would like to go to an outside area, perhaps to the root of a tree. Sit in front of a tree. Sunyagara. Sunya means empty. Gar, place. Please see the thing. Where someone goes to the forest, to the foot of a tree, or to an empty place. Right? That means we can practice breath meditation in 3 main places. In the forest, or in an outside place, and then an empty place. What is this empty place? Empty place is your empty place, maybe your private place, right? You want to reflect something, right? You want to go to your private, maybe your room, right? I think it's very important for us to take a private time every night before we sleep, to reflect about our actions, thoughts, speech. Did I talk to someone in a bad way, mean way, in a hurtful way? Maybe to apologize, maybe to think about how can I speak to someone in a better way? How can I improve my speech? Right? Maybe I don't have intention, but still my words might be not good to other people. It's good to do that as a reflection in their private place. What about if I am to think today, how did I act on certain things? Did I act with metta? Maybe not, right? So I can check that thing too. What about my thoughts? How did I manage my thoughts today, during the day? Were thoughts giving me a hard time, or was I able to manage my thoughts? I think for all these things, you need a private time. You don't need to go to the temple all the time. You need to have that private space for that. But be careful, don't overthink. Don't over-moralize. Don't overthink. If you overthink, then you will also become unhappy. Because some people come to that point when they practice sila, when they practice meditation, they want to be perfect. You can't be perfect in those activities. Rather, you do a balanced practice. Just do it balancedly. Sila, samadhi, they all have to go in balance. Don't try to be perfect. Why? Why you are supposed to be perfect in your spiritual practices? The moment you try to think that you want to be perfect, that is the very moment that you will be frustrated when you cannot do that in the same way. Right? Now think about someone who is doing a puja every morning, or chanting or a puja every morning. Right? Every day morning, she or he wake up and then do the puja. But sometimes the person is oversleeping. Maybe don't know, right? We don't know. Some people cannot sleep at night and they maybe wake up a couple of times and in the morning they oversleep. And that whole morning that person is not happy. Why? I couldn't do the puja at the right time. So what's the problem? What is the right time for a puja? In the temple, they have a time, right? Because people come to the temple at 7 or 7:30 to do puja. But what is the problem in your house for a time? You do the puja whenever you can. But what? But when you set your standards, oh, 6:30 I should do the puja. Otherwise, my puja is not going to. Otherwise, my meditation is not going to happen. There are so many frustrations that can come out. I mean, you may try, but in case you oversleep, in case you couldn't do, don't worry. Understand that intention matters more than my activities sometimes, but I try to do it. That's why we need to understand that it's very important to have a private space in our spiritual life to think about this balance, understand. Okay, and then these are places for the breath meditation. What could be the better posture for this? Sitting down, nisidati, pallanka abhujitva, cross-legged. Pallanka abhujitva, right? And ujung kayang panidai, keeping the body straight, right? You're keeping your back straight. Parimukang sating upattapetva, bringing your mindfulness parimukang in front of this profile, right? This place. We don't have to go and look at other places. Now, there are a couple of things that we have to understand. Number one is that how to sit for the breath meditation. We understand we are looking at it from the Buddha's time now. Why? During the Buddha's time, there were no chair cultures that much. Not everybody was using chairs that time. So it was very usual for them to sit down, right? Even when you look at many decades before, people were happily sitting on the floor, right? Even our ancestors, they were happily sitting on the floor. But nowadays, people don't sit on the floor that much. I mean, unless there's an event. So we understand. That means when you need to practice Pallankang Abhujitva, don't worry. If you can, you may sit down. If you cannot, because of a health problem, or maybe you would prefer to sit on a chair, it's perfectly fine. Right? Pallankang Abhujitva. Then Ujung Kaya, keep your back upright. Why is it important to keep the back upright for the breath meditation? Why is it important for that posture? It's very important to keep our back straight because that keeping back straight posture helps us to watch our breath more conveniently. If you become hunchback, I mean, I'm not talking somebody who is very old, elderly, and has a physical issue. Other than that, if you don't have any sickness, try to keep your back straight. That will help you to watch this body. If you hunchback, you can't do it. Posture is very important because nowadays we are very much connected to these gadgets, phones. Even we don't keep our head straight, right? We are always keeping the head very down, looking at scrolling up and down, left to right, right to left, right? We are in our digital life. Well, people are very much excited about the news, videos, and all that. But I think that might give you a cost with regard to your posture, right? It's very important to keep the back straight because that's for the purpose of this Kayanupassana practices, right? So it's very important to sit properly, sit comfortably, and then to keep the back straight. Now, what is the next thing? Parimukang sating upattapetva, this part. See that? You can see it's here. This part. Now, first one is Pallankang Abhujitva. Second posture. Third is Parimukang Sati. Now, our mindfulness, our sati, has to come to the front of our face, parimukha. This is very important. Nowadays there are so many breath meditation practices in the world. There are some meditation practices where they are asking people to focus on the belly as well, right? They're asking, look at your belly. What to be seen in the belly? You look at the rise of the belly and fall of the belly. Right? That is the tradition. I want to mention their name. But then what will happen to us? Why did the Buddha ask us to look at the belly? Then I think the one who has a big belly has a better chance of watching that. That's kind of a little bit, right? A little funny, but why to look at the rise and fall of the belly? Maybe somebody thought that looking at that part helps us to see the breath, or maybe the Vayu air element. Because now this breath meditation talks about the air element. Okay. And then some others are talking about the tip of the nose, or maybe the nostrils, or maybe the lips. Buddha never talk about these things in the sutta. Where are these teachings coming from? Nostrils, lips, they are coming from Pali commentaries. Okay. And the belly story comes from the Vipassana tradition in a certain country, right? Those are post-canonical in the last perhaps 3 to 4 centuries time, historical stuff. Then what does the Buddha say here? Bring your mindfulness. So you have to be aware not about your belly, not about your lips, not about your nostrils, but what is happening in front of your face, this profile. Right? You sit down, and I understand when you are in the forest, definitely wind is blowing, and you feel the wind. When you are at the foot of a tree, you also have some wind. Let's say you are in a room, if the room is air conditioned or has a fan, you feel the wind as well. And you feel it here, right? And then you are watching that part. Not the belly, not the lips, not the nostrils. Okay? They are given in those. I'm not saying they are bad or wrong. That's not true. We are talking what the Buddha said here. Right? So you have to know what was the Buddha saying here in Satipatthana Sutta. And if you have exposed to those things earlier, then you know them separately. Now, place is important where you do the breath meditation. And then, what else? And then the posture is important. And even before that, you need to sit comfortably. Lastly, what is important is where to focus in the breath meditation. Where to focus? Where to focus now? Where to focus in the breath meditation? In front of your face. Mukha means face. You can see here. Parimukhan. See here? Mukhan. Mukha is not your mouth. Mukha is face. Parimukhan. That means this whole surrounding face area. Satin upattapetva. Now you are going to bring mindfulness and establish that mindfulness in front of this profile. What do you think? Why did the Buddha say, and why did the Buddha not say, do not localize breath anywhere in the body, in particular? Now, if you think that I have to look at my belly, I look at my nostrils, I look at my lips, then I localize this breath meditation only on a certain place. But normally we are much concerned about this face area, right? Even in our life, we want to rinse and wash our face. We want to check whether we look good or not, feel good or not. We want to eat. We check that thing. So it is not a very strange area for us to maintain anything. But the belly is a strange area, right? We want to look at it. And nostrils specifically, and lips specifically, they could be a little bit strange stuff because we only localize it. But when we take it, as the Buddha says, to the front area, the face, then that's a pretty manageable area where we go through the wing. Okay. All right. And then we moving on to the next. Now, what are we supposed to do? Now I am focusing on my in front of my face area. Then let us say, let us assume that now I am watching my breath. So, how to watch my breath? Assa sati means breathe in, passa sati means breathe out. Then satova assa sati, satova passa sati. Mindfully breathe in, mindfully breathe out. Does it mean I try to take a breath mindfully and I breathe out my no? That's not what it means. It means I watch my natural breathing process and I watch my natural breathe out thing mindfully. Normally we might not see it. I want to bring some sort of mindfulness with regard to how this is happening. What if that you are trying to breathe in by force, exaggeratively? Then what will happen to your breath? You are becoming superficial in your breath meditation. Now, actually, what do we want to do here? We want to watch how my breaths happen, because that is the moment, or doing that will help me to understand what will happen to my breath when I'm angry. If I try to do it in my own way, I won't be able to catch it up. But when I'm able to watch my natural breath, that practice will help me to catch what will happen to my breath when I'm struggling with emotions, right? So that's why here Buddha says, now watch your breath mindfully, means watch it. Watching means mindfulness here. And then second, when you watch, you see more things. Digang va asasanto. Supposing that you are having a digang, long breath. Now you watch this long breath. I breathe in long. Yeah, I'm breathing long. And then I know that I breathe out long. Digang va pasasanto. Asasanto means breathing in. Pasasanto means breathing out. Pajanati. What is pajanati? Actually, pajanati is a very interesting Pali term. Fully understand, or maybe fully know. Right? Now, if you think now, do you fully know that you are breathing in, breathing out? Maybe you know, not fully know. What does it mean by fully know? You fully focus on that particular activity. What will happen to you when you do that? Any negative reaction to outside world will be minimized in that moment. Right? Normally we just react very easily to other people. You are so bad, you are so mean. We don't look at us. We always look at other people and putting blame on them, making them culprits. And we want to look for the wrongdoers. Who did this thing? Who, why, where, when stuff. But when I can see this process this way, I don't want to look for that. There's something interesting that I want to look at in my life during that moment. I switch that troubleshooting experience, fault finding mentality, to finding my own breath. Right? That's the difference. That will help me happier, calmer, wiser, right? Going forward, now not even the long breath. Let's say you are going into another experience of the breath. Rasangwa. Rasa means short. Suppose that you are now having a short kind of breath. What do we mean by the short breath? Are you going to die soon? No, not that short breath. When people are dying, they might have a short breath. This is relatively to the long breath. You will feel less, less long breath. And you will understand that this is not longer, this is shorter to that long breath. So you feel like, oh, this is not that kind of a long breath, this is a short one. So I want to see it now. I am having a short breath now, and at the same time breathing in and I breathe it out. And then not even that now, long, short. In my Sunday meditation online, I bring another category here. Long, short, and long, short together. Mixed breath. Sometimes we don't understand whether it is long or short. We say mixed breath. Maybe this has a little bit of long, a little bit of short. I also want to see, actually, we don't have to look at it because Buddha only talks about long, short. But because some people are sometimes suspectful about their breath with regard to length and shortness. That's why we might need to look at it as mixed breath too. You can do the same thing. I'm having a mixed breath, breathe in and breathe out. Then there is something very interesting Buddha is asking us to do. Sabbakaya patisangvedi assa sissami ti sikkati. Sabbakaya patisangvedi assa sissami ti sikkati. Can you see a difference now? Pajanati. This pajanati, you see, was changed to sikkati. Sikkati. Why is it? Sikkati means train. Now, something is happening. I have to watch it. What is happening now during that experience? Sabbakaya patisang. Patisangvedi means experiencing. Now, during this process, what will happen is that when I try to watch my long breath or short breath or mixed breath, I can experience the breath throughout the body. How can we do that? May I know? When I see that breath, long, short, I can also feel that the breath is all pervading. How is the breath all pervading? May I know? It is, if you want to look at it, it can show from other things. So now this is the point where you can think about the belly now. Huh? You don't have to look at the belly. I know the breath has gone to all the parts of my body. I think to all the cells, heart, lungs, right? And all the other parts of the body are going through breath experience. I know, I don't have to localize it, but I know it is going everywhere. Sabbakaya patisangvedi is that. And then this one, the Buddha doesn't say pajanati. This one, Buddha says sikkati. Why? I have to train myself because I might not be able to see it properly. Can I see how is breath going to my heart? Can I fully know? Can I fully know how the blood is being pumped through arteries? No, I only know it from certain medical scientific perspective. I know it is happening, but it is hard for me to see it. I cannot see like long breath, short breath. That is why the Buddha said, now you cannot see it. You can train yourself that it is happening inside of your body. You can train yourself to think that it's happening in your body. Sikkati is that. And then going forward, this one is the most important part in this meditation. Through the breath meditation, what will happen to you? Passang bhayang kaya sankarang asasissamiti passasa. Kaya sankara means bodily sankharas, bodily process. What are they? They are passambhayang, they are calm. You come to a certain understanding that your Kaya sankharas are calmed down now. What are the Kaya sankharas? Kaya sankharas are asasa, pasasa. Your breaths, your what do you call breathing long, what do you call breathing in process and your breathing out process have been calmed down. You come to the point that they are calmed down already because you are able to watch them as they are. Passang bhayang means calming down, And what will be calmed down? Your Kaya Sankharas are calmed down. What about your Vachi Sankhara? What are the Vachi Sankharas? May I know? Verbal formations, what are they? Your Vitakka Vicharas. It is not given in this sutta here. Your speech is not calmed down, but the body is calmed down. What are the Mano Sankharas? Sanya Vedana, perceptions and feeling. They are also not calmed down yet. But your bodily formations, Kaya Sankharas, are calmed down because your in-breath, out-breath are calmed down. And then, how are they calmed down? How can your bodily formations, Sankharas, are calmed down? Because you are watching them. The more you watch them, the calmer they are. The more you neglect them, the more troubling they are. What do you normally do? What would you like to do? You have no idea about it before that. Normally people ignore them, right? Why should I see my breath in, breathe out process? I want to see something outside. I want to see the television. I want to see the phone. I want to see outside. But when you see outside stuff, your inside breathe out process will become very much faster and then having some complications. That's why, as a consequence of being able to see breathing in, breathing out process through long, short breath, mixed breath, one will successfully calm them down. The moment that the person calm down means the Buddhism takes them as Kaya Sankharas. So what are you calming down through breath meditation? Kaya Sankharas. What are the Kaya Sankharas? May I know? What are the bodily formations here? Passam Bhayam Kaya Sankharam. What are those Kaya Sankharas? Asasa, Asasa. Asasa means breathing in process, Passasa, breathing out. These two processes have to be properly calmed down. Then you train yourself. Then the more I watch mindfully my breathing in process, breathing out process, my asasa pasasa, breathing in, breathing out processes are calmed down. That's the summum bonum of this practice at this point. But then, at this point, Buddha is giving, because of the timing, I have to sort of speed up. Buddha is giving an example. A skilled carpenter, Dakko means skilled, Bamakaru, carpenter, or Bamakara Siva, carpenter student, making a long stroke, because they are doing carpentry stuff. Digangwa Anchantu, I want to make a long stroke somewhere on this piece of wood. Or Rasangwa Anchantu, I want to make a short stroke. So at that point, skilled carpenter or his student will do it properly. Or this is the place in the wooden place on the log that I have to make. In the same way, you are properly understanding your long breath, short breath, experiencing the whole body part, and then the calming down part of the breath. This part is same. Now we are coming down to a very important thing. Now, do you think this is breath meditation already? Is this the only breath meditation which the Buddha is saying? Is the breath meditation finished now? No. A lot of people think when they look at these things, they are done with the breath meditation. The Buddha is saying that you need to practice another set of thing in addition to every Satipatthana practice here in the sutta. Now you know what to do in the breath meditation initially. Posture, sitting down, and then where to focus and what to think about, what to look at, what to watch. And then the Buddha understands when people practice any meditation, there is a chance that the meditator may come up with an understanding that I am better than other people. This is a normal attitude that someone may have. Let's say you are meditating for some time. Do you think that you might have a sort of idea that I am much better than other people because I meditate? It's a normal thing. Mana, conceit. Long in mana. Spiritual mana. I am better than others. I have better sila. I have better meditation. I know better than you. Right? This destroys our practice. I might know better than you, but why should I think that? I don't have to think that. It's my practice. Why should my practice give me a hard time? Right? That's why the Buddha said, now when people practice in this meditation now, breath meditation, they might think that I now can easily watch my breathe in, breathe out practices. That is why the Buddha said, when you do this practice, you need to practice it ajatangva and bahidava. Internally, bahidava, externally, ajata bahidava, both internally and externally. What does it mean by internally here? When you practice breath meditation, you watch your own breath, right? Then bahidava means, what does bahidava mean? Bahidava means, just like how I practice breath meditation, how I feel it, how I watch it, I also have to understand that other people also go through the same process if they want to, right? So other people also going to follow the same breathing process, whether they practice or not. That means universalizing this experience of watching breath is Bahidava part. Then what will happen? Let's say I'm meditating now. I know somebody who is not doing that. So what's the problem? I know this person also can do it. The only problem is he or she doesn't want to do it. Maybe he or she doesn't know about it. But I know he or she also can do it. What kind of attitude is this? In Mahayana Buddhism, Mahayana philosophy, bodhisattvas, how do you call it? Pusasa, the bodhisattvas having the same idea. All these bodhisattvas, could be Samantabhadra or any bodhisattva, is thinking that I want you to attain enlightenment before me. You go first, idea. I mean, it's a happiness, right? When you are waiting for a restaurant, ordering something in a coffee shop, 20 people ahead of you, 10 people are saying, you go ahead, you go ahead, you go ahead. You're so happy, right? You are cutting this long lineup and you almost now 6 people ahead of you. But, this is the idea. When you practice Satipatthana, you also have to think that just like how I can do it, other people also can do it. The moment that I feel like that, Bahidava way, any kind of conceit, any pride, any proud nature I'm creating through meditation will immediately go down. Right? So Bahidava means we have to universalize this experience. And then Samudaya Dhammanupassiva, Vaya Dhammanupassiva, Samudaya Vayadam. These are another layer. That means the Buddha says when you practice breath meditation, try to see the origin of the breath. What is the origin of the breath? Origin of the breath means Panchakanda, 5 aggregates. Because I have 5 aggregates, that's why I'm breathing in and out. Vaya Dhammanupassiva. When I don't have 5 aggregates, when I was not reborn as a being, then I don't have breath. Then I understand that the nature of this breath. Because I have 5 aggregates, I breathe in, breathe out. If I hadn't have any 5 aggregates, I would not breathe in, breathe out. So who would not have 5 aggregates? Enlightened folks. They wouldn't have any Panchakanda bodies. And I have to understand that too as a second thing. Third thing, Attikayotiva panassa satipachupatita yavadeva jnanamattaya patissati mattaya anissitocha viharati nachakinchi lokyupa. Very important part in the meditation. This is the, I would say, inside part. Now when you calm down your body through breath meditation, you also need to bring yourself into the inside part. Some people call it as vipassana part, but I normally call it, this is a discernment. Okay, inside part. How to do the inside part here? Attikayotiva panassa satipatchupattita. Attikayo. That means we understand, or I understand, you understand, there is only a body exists, nothing else. Why? I know how the body was composed of. Body was composed of 5 aggregates. If there were no 5 aggregates, there is no body. Now I understand there's only a body available here. And then, Yavadeva Jnana Mattai. And I have the knowledge that is necessary to understand that point, until that point. Jnana, I have the knowledge to understand to that extent. Patissati Mattai. And I have the repeated mindfulness about it. Now, do we have the repeated mindfulness about the body? We have a flashback of the mindfulness. I have 5 aggregates. But then when we go back home, we forget about 5 aggregates, right? We have to go back to the conventional life. Then no repeated mindfulness sometime, right? And the Buddha said, no, not even the knowledge. You need the repeated mindfulness. Patissati mattai. Pati means repeated mindfulness. I don't know whether you have heard this word before. You only know sati. But the Buddha said, patissati. Repeated mindfulness. Repeatedly be mindful about that this is only a body of fire. And then at that point, anissitocha viharati. You dwell unassociating. Normally, how do we live in our life, daily life? We live with so many associations, right? Rupa here, Vedana here, Sanya here, Sankara here, Vijnana here. I'm very much concerned about my body all the time, my feelings, my perception, memories, karma, consciousness. But now, through this practice, breath meditation here, you can live without that structure. You know that this is a body, this is composed of 5 aggregates. You can live happily. Now think about for a moment that 2 situations. One is that I am not a composition of 5 aggregates versus I am a composition of 5 aggregates. What could be the happy moment? Yes, both are happy moments. I mean, when you take care of yourself, your body, you are happy, you have good rupa, you have good feelings, you have good perceptions, you have good karma, you have a good consciousness. But, this continuity, fluid nature of 5 aggregates is going through challenges. Sometimes you get sick, sometimes your feelings are not taken care by you or other people, they are played down, and sometimes your memories are not good. You go back to the bad memories sometimes, and then your karma, sometimes you might feel you haven't done enough good karma or something, and you might not be happy with your mind, right? So it's a kind of a very dynamic thing, going up and down. What if that you can think sometime for a moment that this is not me, myself, but I am a composition of 5 aggregates? What kind of happiness that you might be having at that point? Think for a flashback of time, for a moment of time, you will feel happy at that point. Then you will understand all these associations. Why did I do like that? Why was I like that? Why do I have to do like that? I mean, you are caring people, you are taking care of you, but when you look at it, you will see clinging towards other people, sakkaya ditthi towards other people, right? You will be able to see all the unnecessary, unhealthy attachments, clingings, and cravings, right? That's why the Buddha says here, now, this breath meditation will help you at a certain point at the end. As an insight part, you will not associate your panchakanda at that point. Not even you are not associating. Nacha kinchi loke upadiyati, not grasping at anything in the world. Upadiyati. Now, what are we doing every day? Are we clinging to everything every day? Are we not clinging to everything every day? Can you think for a moment today? When is today? November 24th, when you woke up today, got up out of your bed, today morning up until now, before you come to Sutta study, what actions have been happening? Were you grasping to the world, Panchakanda world, or were you trying to come out of the Panchakanda world? I mean, Panchakanda is normal, but grasping. I think what's happening to many is that they are negatively attaching to things. They are clinging to things. I understand this is a challenging thing, but at least we understand our clinging towards things. At least you take care of yourself with caring, healthy relationships, caring bonds without unnecessarily clinging to or maybe having craving towards certain things. So this is what is happening at the end. This is why it is called Nachakinji. You are not grasping at anything in the world. What does world mean here? May I know? Loka? I'll show you again. Loke. What does this world mean? The Buddha says when you practice breath meditation, at the end, what will happen? You don't cling to the world. What world is that? Is it this world with continents? Is it heaven? What is that world? It is not this physical world. It is the world of Panchakanda, 5 aggregates. We are clung to the 5 aggregate world, and we are able to move out of that Panchakanda world when we do this practice. Actually, this part is coming under all the Satipatthana practice. Okay, I think you understand now. Let me recap the whole thing again. You need to find out a place first, good place, and the posture, and where you're going to focus in front of the face. And then there comes long, short, mixed breaths. And you also need to understand how does the element of the breath, that means air, is pervading in the body. Everywhere is affected with the breath, heart, cells, everything. And finally, because you are watching your breath, you will be able to calm down your in-breath, out-breath. That is the first part, calming down part. Second part, inside part. Inside part means I have to look at it internally because it's happening in me. Also externally. That means, what does it mean by externally looking at? I should also universalize this breath meditation practice that every sentient being, not even my friend's family, even a cat, even a dog, even other animals who have a nervous system, right? Maybe not the bacteria, right? Not the bacteria, not the other such small tiny animals. But I mean, those animals who maintain a nervous system, they all go through breath. I have to localize, I have to universalize it. The more I universalize it, I know this experience can be felt by any sentient being, not only me. Any sakkaya ditthi, any pride, any mana that will come to me will be washed away in that beautiful feeling. I'm not having any ego about my practice. I feel that everybody can do it. I wish everybody's good practice of the breath. And then we also talk about, as insight, we have to look at the origin of this breath, that is Panchakanda body. That's why I can breathe in and out. And also, what is the dissolution of this breath? That means not being able to be reborn, enlightened status. And the Buddha finally said, we also have to look at that as a matter of this practice, consequence of this practice, we may be able to have the right knowledge, repeated mindfulness, not associating Panchakanda world, and not clinging to the Panchakanda. This is what we've been discussing. And let's see other notes. You can read them. Posture. This is what we discussed, how to see the breath. This is what we call experience in the whole body, breath, Sabbakaya Patisanvedi. This is Pasambayan Kaya Sankara. You can see Kaya Sankara refers to the bodily formation, Asasa in breath and Pasasa out breath. Carpenter's analogy. This is internal external part. As you can see, internally means watching one's own breath and out breath directly. And then by the means, extending this awareness beyond oneself, recognizing that in breath, out breath are not unique to me, but are universal, bodily process shared by all sentient beings. That means in this way, the meditator, yogi or yogini, sees breathing as a natural phenomenon, not as a possession of the self. And the both. And this is how we have to look at how it is starting and disappearing, samudaya vaya, and benefits. All right, so I think you can read the rest. Now we will take perhaps 2 minutes for any questions, 3 minutes before we wrap up. Any questions, please? There's a mic over there. You will come up to the mic and ask the question if you can.
Sukihotu Bhante. Bhante, how do we relate today's practice on the Anapana to our last week's section, whereby when we talk about having removed covetousness and grief for the world, how do we actually put them together?
Yes, that is the bigger purpose of this any Satipatthana practice. What you call Vinaya Loke Abhijja Domanassa. Right? This is the Pali text. Now, we discuss the purpose of all these Satipatthanas, whether be that Kaya, Paskaya, or Vedana, Chitta, Dhamma. Now, you are asking, how does that purpose happen in this process? Let me tell you. Now, when I see my own breath, right, as just like how I suggest you will feel calm. And then I come down to the inside section. In the inside section, what will happen? Firstly, what is happening is that I'm trying to overcome my Sakkaya Ditthi nature. Earlier, I thought it is only me. Now I universalize this experience. So Sakkaya Ditthi will be going down. Sakkaya Ditthi, personality, belief, or ego is the main problem towards our covetousness and suffering, sadness, because we relate to other people, not even that. And then when I come down to the last section of the inside, the Buddha says, Nacha kinchi loke upadiyat. Right? I don't associate the Panchakanda world. I don't cling to the Panchakanda world. Now you can think about why are we bounded by the Panchakanda world? I mean, what is happening when I am very greedy about anyone? It is because I am bounded by the Panchakanda world. They are Panchakanda and my Panchakanda. What does it mean by I'm not clinging to that world? That means when I don't cling, I maintain. I still have my caring relationships. I still care about my parents. You still care about your family. But I don't cling to them. Then sadness will be very minimal. Greed will be pretty manageable. That is how Abhijja and Domanassa will be quite manageable at that point. Perhaps you will even overcome and become enlightened.
Hi Bhante, I want to ask a question. Sometimes when I meditate, I'm calm, but other times when I meditate, because I'm a lot more aware, I find myself being more grumpy and irritable, especially to the people around me. So what should I be aware of within the meditation or outside of the meditation so that I don't snap at people around me when that happens? Thank you.
I want to know someone. You are saying when you are grounding yourself more and more, then at the same time there's a sort of grumpiness will arise in you. Does it mean that you are more focused on every tiny bit of things that they are doing in their life, that you see them?
When I'm meditating, I think I'm calm. And then after the meditation, then I realize because maybe it's unlocked some sort of negative emotions that I was not aware of. I think I end up taking it out on people around me, which seems to defeat the purpose, right? Of promoting a peaceful household. Yeah.
We are fallible beings. Nobody is perfect. We understand. We still have a long way to go, the practice. But what is important is that I don't know what meditation you are doing, maybe a pretty basic meditation, maybe a normal meditation. Now, when you look at this even the Anapanasati practice here and how the Buddha has given that, you will see that it is not just calming down, right? Now, you might think I calm myself down, I do the breath meditation, and then after some time, after I exit the practice, then when you are dealing with other things after that, certain bad emotions come to you, right? That's why the Buddha is saying any meditation in Satipatthana practice is not just the calming part. Once you are calmed down, what you would have to do? You have to go to the inside part. Inside part start from Ajjata, Bahidda, Samudaya, Vayadhamma, and then that Panchakanda experience. I think if you do that part also, this situation will be changed, because every time when other people are giving you a hard time, I mean this can be happening anyway, you will think about, why should I cling to the Panchakanda? My Panchakanda, my perception problem. I don't like their perceptions. I don't like what is happening within my feelings with regard to their actions. Then you will more look at your Panchakanda experience by not associating Panchakanda, by not clinging to it, but by looking at the Panchakanda. But by being aware about your Panchakanda. I think that way definitely will minimize those experiences. I think it's not even you. I think most of us will have that deviation sometimes. That's why we need to practice the inside part too. So please look at the Ajjata Bahidda Samudaya Vayadhamma part, because that is the inside part.
I just want to understand something. Why you say that our breath originally from Panchakarna is an etiquette. That's what I understand so far. Is our etiquette.
Is that?
And also, and you say that our breath origination from Panchakarna body. What is that? Why do you say that? And is it possible that our feeling also comes from, those who are passed away? Maybe they also have left their feelings with us. Is it possible that we can feel like that?
Okay, good question. Our feelings, our breath, they are primarily coming from the Panchakanda composites. But even though we are getting them as a source through Panchakanda, still, as you said, we are breathing the last breath of someone who passed away just now. Maybe we are having certain sentimental feelings from other people too, but the main source is Panchakanda combination. That is why we are primarily having our breath and all that. But there are certain conditional moments that we are having breath feelings from other people too, but they are partial. They are not the whole thing. That's why I said when Buddha talks about samudaya, we have to look at our breath through samudaya. Means we have to look at how does breath start, because we had the Panchakanda body, we are carrying this breath forward. And one day when let's say we become enlightened, Panchakanda will be broken. There will be no Panchakanda, no breath. I know that dissolution too. And we have to have that understanding. All right, so at this point, I think we learned about Anapanapabba here. Now the practice kicks in and you will look at it and you will need to adjust your practice through how we discuss. Please read the note as well. And then we will be discussing Iriyapada meditation, Satipatthana, next Monday. That would be our plan. So now let us reflect upon all the good karmas we've been doing today by learning Anapana Satipatthana. May all the good karmas we making today by learning Anapana Satipatthana through how the Buddha mentioned be transferred to all the departed ones who passed away. In the name of all of us, may they be well and happy. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu.